Well, I am so delighted to be here in the display gardens at the Rogerson Clematis Gardens, and I'm here with Linda Butler. And Linda, we are going to be talking about the seeds of clematis, which honestly, this is new to me. And so we're out here now, but I'm seeing this plant right here has little bags all over it.
Right.
Is that part of the process?
Yeah, so people see these little heads, seed heads. Clematis don't have an enclosed ovary. They're, everything's just hanging out there. And so these seed tails that look so silky are eventually going to puff out, and the wind will spread the seed, or somebody walking by with a sweater will bump them and it'll cling on. But this particular variety, Clematis texensis, we're not sure about how self-pollinating it is. We know that the hummingbirds can get to it. So we have these wonderful little tool bags that our volunteers make to hang on to that seed. We bag them when it's in flower. We kind of rub them together so that we think its own pollen is getting on itself.
And then what's that? What? That's different.
Yeah,
why?
Yeah. I watched a hummingbird one afternoon all over a blue herbaceous perennial clematis, which is distantly related to this.
Right.
And then it came over here to that flower. And that little bird its whole forehead was just covered with pollen. So we came right over here.
Because something could happen. There could be a crossing.
Cousins could marry.
Okay.
And so I want to watch that seed.
Right. You want to really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Now, I've been in through the gardens. I've seen a couple other places where this is happening. That's a difference or the same process?
Yeah. So some of them have smaller seeds. Some of them have longer seed tails. That's very silky. This to me looks more like Bouffant Barbie, whereas for those who know. And so there's a lot of variation in clematis seed size, in whether there's a tail or not, how big that is.
And for the need of science itself, what you're looking for is purity and getting the systems right and making sure there's nothing going on.
Right. When we sell Clematis texensis, we flower it first so we know it's right. And in fact, that's true of all the species that we sell.
Right, and that's why I love shopping here for clematis. Now, also though, why don't we go inside, and you're going to give me a few steps of the process of how you go through the seeds and what you do to get them to grow.
Right.
Okay, let's take this little walk and do that. Okay, Linda, so now we're in the greenhouse here, and we're going to go through the steps of the seed collecting process.
Right.
There's 3 bags here. Tell me what the difference is.
So these are teeny tiny seeds from Clematis pogonandra, and we still have the tails on. This is Clematis manchurica. It's already been cleaned by the volunteers, and you'll notice we have the desiccant packets in there, so
for removal of moisture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want them to rot. And this is Clematis vitacella, which the volunteers really love because it doesn't have any tail.
So no taking that off.
No taking that off. So very easy peasy. Now these are seeds that we collected in the rain. So we but they were starting to disperse. They're starting to come apart. And so we, needed to go out and grab them. But these still have the tails on. And one of the easy things to do is, while it's still on the stem like this, to go along, and just cut it off while they're still attached.
So now, then they let go of eventually the wind carries, much like, what are the stupid little yellow weeds that we mow?
Dandelion.
Yes, they're like that.
Yeah, so you can see the big seeds there, and then you had some non-viable seeds that don't, where there's just nothing going on. There's one viable seed, and the rest of that didn't get pollinated.
Okay.
So sometimes with the big seeds, the bigger seeds, we wouldn't do it with these little guys. We soak them. So we've got seed that's floating that probably isn't viable.
Right.
And the reason we soak them is so they germinate faster. So let me fish one out of here. The ones that have fallen to the bottom are probably heavier and viable. This makes the difference between a seed that will start in, say, 3 months to a seed that might take 2 years to start.
Wow.
So we have just given that one a little speed up.
So there's so much to know about this that I don't think we average gardeners would know. So you get it to that point.
So you take a class.
Well,
with us, and you'll leave the class with a bunch of baggies. the seeds will start in the baggie. Once you see a couple inches of root, you fish it out of there. You put it into a little 2-inch pot with some grit on the top to prevent damping off.
And there it goes.
And there you go.
Well, here's what I know. I think all of your questions can easily be answered if you come to this class and you're saying, but when is it? All you have to do, go to gardentime.tv. We'll pick you over to their website, find it out, bring it in, and just really learn a lot about the beautiful clematis. My friend, thank you so much. It is always fascinating chatting with you.
Thank you. Glad you could come.